Hey guys, how's it going? Jayce Sensational here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be playing a little bit of Darkness. I think it's a deck that a lot of you guys are looking forward to a little bit. And I'll take this video to go a little bit into depth with it. Not like a full-on like deck guide or like a masterclass, but I'll drop some things here and there that I think are quite helpful in just piling the deck overall. But let's just start with the deck list and talk through some changes that have really impacted this season in the past compared to the past seasons, where there's definitely a lot more room for cards and card choices and things like that. So with this expansion, we got the card Wallop from Battle City. So this is a fast speed stunned card for 3 mana. It's super impactful. It's almost like a Concussive Palm, of course, without the body. But generally, where Darkness struggles a little bit more is into the decks that have the ability to overwhelm the board with big units, and or have challengers for Veigar, which maybe we can't handle as efficiently as we want to. And this is where Wallop just really kind of comes in and just sort of serves that purpose. It does take the slot for missed call slash like the stress defense, things like that. But overall, the impact that Wallop has is just really good at stalling out the game, which is what Darkness really wants to do, right? Darkness has a really powerful game plan, but it can't really execute that until maybe like turn 7 to 8 to 9. And so having the ability to slow down the game with Wallop is just really, really impactful. Now, of course, the main game plan of Darkness is to have the Darkness get scaled, so you have cards like the Twisted Catalyzer, as well as Veigar in order to buff up how much damage your Darkness does, and you have Stilted Roadmaker to discount the cost of Darkness, combined with some other synergistic cards like Senna, which allows you to generate multiple Darknesses and actually cast them at fast speed, is really good at stabilizing the game and just helping up level your Veigar as quickly as possible. And Ixali Sentinel, sort of 2 for 1, does damage to the opponent's face while also acting as removal, while doubling for leveling Veigar as well. I think where people get a little bit caught up in the overall Darkness game plan is they want to scale their Darkness as fast as possible. So, they'll play Veigar on turn 4 no matter what the situation is. And for sometimes that, is generally the correct play. In these slower sort of matchups where A, they can't deal with Veigar, or B, they just don't have the pressure to race you down. Playing Veigar on turn 4 is often not a very good play, especially if you can back it up with, some other protection tools. Now this iteration doesn't have that, it has a transposition we can play on turn 5 with Veigar, but not turn 4. But nonetheless, a lot of people just want to jam Veigar on turn 4, and often or not, that's generally not really a good play, because what Darkness is, it's a lot more of, it is a very grindy control deck, but how it gets its how it plays out its control style is a lot more about tempo. We want to be using our Darknesses efficiently. We don't really want to be casting them for 3 mana, because that's going to be really slow, and it's going to really strain how much mana we have to spend. And the second thing is, we don't need to be killing our opponents with Darknesses. I think a lot of people get caught up into the, I need to level up Veigar and that's how I win the game by Darknessing my opponent's face for 20 damage. That's generally not the case. Again, you win by overwhelming your board with tempo and having just really efficient removal against your opponent. So having a Darkness that deals more than 5 damage is most of the time just irrelevant. What is a lot more important than having, a 10 mana dark or 10 damage Darkness that costs 3 is like a 5 mana Darkness that costs 1. And that's why Stilted Roadmaker is such an insane card in this deck, because it just makes your whole game plan a lot more efficient. You don't want to be casting Darkness for its full value. You want to be discounting it so that it becomes more efficient. The reason why a card like Ravenous Flock is so powerful is because it deals 4 damage for 1 mana. And in the same sense, Darkness can get to that level of tempo swings, and it doesn't even have a condition to activate it. So you really want to be prioritizing the cards like Twisted Catalyzer, Stilted Roadmaker, and of course Veigar whenever you can sneak it in, because if it does stick on board for 2 turns, you get that darkness that you really need. But I think a lot of people try to tunnel vision too hard onto the Veigar in the mid game, where it's going to be a pretty big loss of tempo, and you don't play Silted Rollmaker instead, which discounts the cost of your darknesses moving forward as well. So you don't want to be saying like play Darkness Acolyte on turn 2, then playing 3-mana Darkness on turn 3, into like Veigar on turn 4, into another 3-mana Darkness on turn 5. That is very, very slow, and often case just not the right way to play it. Again, you want to be focusing on developing pretty well-satted units on board, being able to gum down the board for the early turns, and so that once you drop the Veigar Senna combos later down the line, you have a very efficient way to swing the tempo into your favor, and now you're just pressuring the opponent slowly turn after turn. You know, sometimes when you get to that position in the late game and you're stable, maybe your Veigar levels up and you have a Senna, you just play Darknesses to your opponent's face to close out the game. Maybe you have like an Ixtali Sentinel with Veigar and you just play 2 Darknesses to your opponent's face. You have a very powerful way of ending the game, but you don't need to tunnel vision into the Veigar too early and too quickly. For the rest of the cards, we just have some pretty standard Shadow Owl's removal cards. We have cards like Piercing Darkness, Vengeance, and Ruination. Right now, these are teched such that into the Demacia decks, you have a lot of removal. Cards like Vengeance and Ruination are definitely really good into decks like the Pantheon decks, the Sivir decks, things like that, where you're able to completely swing the board and neutralize tempo with the power of Ruination. Especially paired with Sun, you can play it at fast speed to have the most impactful impact, because now they're committing into their attack, and then you get to wipe the board. Cards like Vengeance, Piercing Darkness, you'll see Piercing Darkness in this deck when you see more scouts. Having a good answer to MF while also healing you for a good amount of health is just super critical. So you see more of this if you see more scouts. You'll notice that there are 0 copies of Withering Wail. That's because there isn't a lot of aggro in the meta. So if you see a lot more aggro, a lot more burn, cards like Withering Wail are just going to auto-win you those matchups. So again, a lot of the removal right now is dependent on what you face in the meta, because there's a lot more mid-range things and a lot more Demacia. We favor the solid single target removals as well as the board wipes. But again, the main focus again is just to focus on tempo, focus on getting your darkness scaled, not just the damage, but really prioritizing getting it down its cost, so it can start swinging the tempo, and then you just want to play a nice focused game plan where you just slowly grind down your opponent while always staying ahead on board. So that's just a quick overview of Darkness and how I think it should be played, where I think some players might be misguided by focusing too much on Veigar and leveling him up. So hopefully I didn't ramble too long, and hopefully that was at least helpful to hear. But I'll try to emphasize that more in the games that you see later down the video. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the next video. So peace out, guys, and take care. Heimer Jayce. Okay. So they're both SI control decks. I do need to be careful of. I'm pretty familiar with this deck, so there are some very specific things I need to be careful of. And those are like the elusive turret. Definitely his fair share of vengeances and thermos that I need to be watching out for. I want to see if he's on like the mystic shots, so I want to try like sneak a catalyzer through if I can. Because like this makes it awkward for him to play Thermo Beam, so it's kind of down to whether or not he actually runs Mystic Shot in his deck. And the version I was playing a while ago actually didn't. And if he wants to play like Assembly Line or something like that, I just get a free trade, and that's really good. This is a much better hand. I hard disagree with this line. You can't do that, buddy. I think this line is wrong. It sucks that I have to spend a wall up here. I would have loved to have like a Vile Feast or Pokey instead, but I just don't see how that play was correct. It's too tempo negative for me to just kill it with a ping or a spell there, especially if I get a hidden with my catalyzer. Sure. Is how my darkness is gonna deal 5 damage? Because the danger of darkness is once it starts to like one-shot your champs, that's where it gets dangerous. I'm not gonna play this into like a shock blast. That would be kind of bad from my perspective. Still trading this, wow. Like he can never play his champion. Well, that's not true, but he can never stick his champion. There's Thermo. I think I'm gonna hold on to this Veigar. Not only do I want it to get a second darkness from, but I do want to have a way to close out the game, and Veigar is sort of the prime target for that. Sure, he's leveled Jayce and things like that, but his Jayce is never going to stick on board long enough to actually be able to cast a spell. And I always have the Rekindler too. It's like right now we're just... This is sort of... like if you look at this, it's a 2-mana deal 5, right? And you just think about the tempo that this creates, it's just so insane. You know what? I'll just play out this Veigar. I'm so ahead. We just the glimpse it, oh man. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Like my hand versus his plays are just a lot better. And it's exactly why I didn't play the Catalyze on turn 2. Because I didn't want to give him a 3-mana Thermo Beam onto it. I wanted to force his hand in a really awkward spot. Because I hypothesized that he might not actually be playing Mystic Shots, or he just doesn't run Mystic Shots. Or, I mean, he didn't have it in hand. Like a Vengeance. We can't Vengeance this, can he? Whale plus Alphys? Fair enough. I will respect a Ruination. I think it'd be unwise if I were to hit this Rekindler into it. I can quicken my Veigar, that's really good. And we'll just spend our mana because I have darknesses that kill anything he wants to play, any like big threat ever. So I'm not really scared of expending my pings there. Yeah. You can just jam a second Road Maker here. Oh sure. It's unfortunate that I care. I just like I can just play Rekindler or something. I don't get to use this darkness, which is kind of funny. So I do this and I replay both and it's the same thing. Okay, we'll just use it now while it's safe. Just in case there's some weird corner case that actually prevents this from being good in the future. Eight mana darkness, not bad. Yeah, it's not bad a card, huh? It's classic 1 mana deal 8. It's kind of funny because he's in an awkward spot where if he plays like a unit, not only does he have very few units, he has like majority champions, right? Like most of his deck is champions, and all of them just get one-shotted by darkness. Now he could like play Veigar, or not Veigar, but he could play like Heimer plus like a Vengeance at the same time, and then that gives him like a turret at the very least. I want to find another unit or card that gives me a darkness. That'd be nice. Because I don't really care about these guys. That's a lie. I just really want another unit or card that generates a darkness. I think that's just the cherry on top. Especially if I can play it this turn. Because then they'll level my Veigar and then I'm never afraid of another one. I guess. I could just play Rekindler now if I wanted to. Oh, Senna, what do you know? So we can play Vengeance, and then we can play Senna and still play Darkness. All of his impactful 6+ cards are at least slow speed, so there's nothing he can do on stack there, unless he wants, like, you know, double cast Vengeance. But even then, it's not that good. And now he doesn't have 6 mana up to even play a spell. And then we can just casually pop this Jayce real fast. So unfortunate. Yeah, this is definitely the difference in... This is the difference of having a Darkness that is cheap, right? Not only does it deal a lot of damage. Now, if its Darkness only dealt like 4 or 5 damage, it probably made no difference this game. But the fact that it costs 1 made all the difference, right? It's not the fact that, you know, it deals 10 damage, while, you know, that is a contributing factor. It's because this costs less than 3 this game, and I was actually able to play it out in an efficient manner. And that's the difference, right? It's all about the Darkness. After your Darkness deals 3 to 4 damage, it's all about the cost. Some poor fool trying to play some aggro. That's tough. These are good cards, but if Darkness can get to 3 damage, you can like one-shot Gnar, and that's huge. But keeping 2 4-drops here seems a little bit slow. Those choice between the Catalyze and the Veigar? Honestly, I'm not too sure. Ooh, did you see that? Wait, that's such a cool animation. What the heck? So sick. It's unfortunate that... Oh, hey, nice top deck. Sure. Wow Feast? Is Haunted Relic, like, no cap good? Haunted Relic activates my group shot. That is so funny. I'll consider it. It's funny. It might be correct, but it's also funny. I wasn't looking if he had Gnar or not. Yeah, I should pay more attention. Figuring? Okay. Okay. Oh, it does have Gnar. Okay, fair enough. Let's not burn this mana. I'm gonna save this because it can deal 2 damage. Ooh, nice top deck. Very nice top deck. So, like, let's say he plays Gnar this turn. I could just Vengeance it. Might not even be that bad. It really just, like, ruins his attack. I do like it. It's now, like, he is forced to attack with this Crackshot Corsair this turn. And then I gotta just value trade it, right? Which then allows me to drop a card like Catalyzer or even like Veigar. Because now what I've done is I'm ahead on tempo, right? And then once my Darkness deals 4 damage, then his Gangplank died. Probably play one of my 4-drops this turn. I'd like to play Veigar. I have a transposition, but I don't want to like tank damage too much. It's kind of tough. I need my Darkness to deal 3, but I also need a Darkness. I could just go like Catalyzer this turn. He's forced to remove it somehow. And it's not the easiest for him to do it. So like if he goes like Gangplank plus Make Your Rain, I do have a group shot. I need to play a little bit more for tempo first, or I could sort of play for the greedy late game. Both of these get my Darkness to 3 damage, but this one is just slightly better with tempo play, and I think in this sort of position it's really important, especially because he has like a second Gnar. Now if he's able to kill my Catalyzer here, that's gonna suck. So like, okay, so it is the Make Your Rain line, which I do have the group shot for. Unfortunately, I don't have a ping for game playing. Maybe this didn't turn out so hot. It's interesting. It's definitely could have turned out better, but this is still ultimately kind of fine. It's like the Stally Sentinel's gonna do a lot of work. I can take a bit of damage here. By a bit, I mean a decent amount. 7. Right. GG, really? Think so? I'm curious as to why he thinks it's game. Transposition is able to protect me from like a double up, potentially. Next turn I might need like a Stally transposition. Senna.
The elements bind the living and the dead.
Maybe I screwed up this game a little bit. Cool stuff. I want him to like do something hasty. I want him to do something like, I don't know, put a bunch of stuff on the stack. Danger is like, I'll crown the Veigar. Okay.
I am in control.
Interesting. Main deck? That's cute. It's really funny. That's really funny. Main deck lightning rush. Oh, he's not gonna. Interesting, doesn't replay Gangplank here. Just want to play Gnar. I don't get what playing Gnar would do. I just darkness it. Interesting. Like, why not just like replay Gangplank there? Gives me a chance to like, I don't know, do something to it. The best thing there would probably would have been like a ping spell. All these. Ooh, this heals me more. Okay, I see valid points in that. I can still feel very comfortable. Although I think some of my sequences could have been a little bit better. I definitely think that there are certain turns where maybe I played the wrong unit. It's a tough choice to make for sure. Really? Why? I'm confused. I have the transposition, so I'm always protect. Oh. Yeah, I did not feel in danger at all. His plays at the end seemed kind of strange, but my play, I think my plays are alright. It was just, I had the right intuition about like the Gangplank and stuff like that. But Gangplank leveling that quickly was definitely pushing a lot of pressure on Shurima. I don't need any of these cards. Look for Catalyze or look for Veigar. And potentially like a Road Maker would be pretty nice. Mono Shurima, huh? I think Xerath. So the possibility of like a Rite of Arcane is quite high. We'll see what he has. I want to trade here for the 2-2 because I don't want this to get like Rite of Arcane. I guess I'll trade here too. Well, you can't Rite of Arcane without blowing up the Sun Disc. Or burning a mana. I think if he burns a mana, I'm pretty happy with it. Okay, soft pass. Probably just end up Poke Sticking or Vile Feasting the Treasure Seeker. Just to make my trade a little bit better. I don't want to trade into 2 on. I'm greedy. Ooh. Maybe I got a little bit greedy. We'll see. Because now I'm giving him the Sarcophagus. That sorta sucks. For sure. He got me. Okay, so there's no... Luckily for me, there was no... whatchamacallit? There was no... You know what I'm trying to say. There was no... Naturalist. A Naturalist play there would have been pretty hard hitting, huh? They're endless about. Okay. Thinking that 5 mana is pretty nice. I'll trade for this maybe. No, I won't. Never mind. I rethought it. I'm not going to do it. It says deal 3, so it does kill the thing that comes out of the sarcophagus, which is nice. I don't have much I'm doing here. I have a blocker here, I have a blocker here. If I play this out, he just gets like blow it up, and you know, that doesn't really just do much for me. Don't play Senna here. Like, I can start Senna and ping this. I don't want to play out this darkness. This darkness is too expensive right now. I think Rite of Arcane's my Senna. Is that more important? I actually think my Veigar is like more important here. Or sorry, my Senna is more important. But I also just don't want to play out Veigar and let it die. That seems pretty bad tempo-wise. Kinda tough. You definitely have to think about this deck in terms of tempo as well, because right now we're definitely a little bit behind. If I played Senna, I can't level her right away. I'm not a huge fan of playing either of them here. I'm gonna soft pass with this Poke Stick, see what's up. Ideally, I hit like a Roadmaker there. I think Roadmaker was one of my better draws. Okay. I actually don't mind playing Veigar here. It's like it gives me the proc, right? And if it already has vulnerable, so if he wants to play Ride of the Arcane, that's just extra awkward for him. It already has vulnerable, like, why would you spend 5 mana? You feel less incentivized to use this Rite of Arcane to kill my Veigar. That's what I kind of want, right? I just want my Veigar to survive a turn, and then it has like a better chance of like dealing with Xerath. Oh, still goes for it. Okay, fair enough. Well, I don't think I can feel too bad about that. So now my Senna is able to come down. Oh, Rekindler. I'm going to Rekindler the Senna. I think it's just better. Another Vile Feast is great. You can flip Senna here, which would protect it from like a Rite of Arcane, which is nice. Yep. chillin'. 5 mana, 11. I could play Xtali here. I don't see huge punish. I still have the 2 cards I don't want to play this turn up.
And the dead,
Okay.
steady as life and death. My spirit is stone.
Probably no need to commit this right now. If he lets us through, I can just pass. I'm no rush to actually use this darkness. Like, I don't need to be pushing damage to his face. That's just sort of unnecessary. What I'd like for him to do is Ride of Arcane this way, and then I can just pop the darkness here, flip my Senna, and then it, like, lives, right? Baited. Because now my Senna survives at 1, because it levels. Sure. Now he has the Hourglass, Hourglass, thing. That's kind of what I wanted, right? I'm just applying pressure to his resources. Because at the end of the day, Darkness is just a super grindy out-value control deck. And that's just really how you need to treat it. You just play for the grind. Unfortunately now... Ugh. As his champions, the game's gonna... Ooh, another right, okay, fair enough. You have double vengeances. So, like, I'm not in, like, any trouble if he, like, sticks a champion down. Like, Xerath is just gonna get blown up. It's only when he draws both Xerath and... Okay. He's drawing a couple cards. We do need to find a little bit more value here. We have a lot of removal that's not really very important right now. Like, once he flips his Sun Disc and then he draws 2 champions, it's gonna suck a little bit. Especially because he's playing Azir. We are actually on a pretty tight timeline here. Oh, he destroys that. Tempo? Really? I feel like the card draw will be slightly more important, but you do you, pal. Good draw. So now I need to just close out the game. Like, I'm on a pretty tight clock to close the game out. He still needs to draw both his champions, which is why I was surprised when he initially made the decision to destroy his Preservarium. Just vengeance you. Oh Jesus, he had both? Uh-oh. Okay. Damn. Mono Shurima just putting us on the clock, huh? Kinda wild, honestly. Yeah. I'm actually curious to wonder what the actual like stats for this matchup are. Because it can't be like that bad for the mono Shurima side, I think. I feel. Maybe I just got unlucky, but okay, Senna. Ready to pop off here. As long as he just doesn't like obliterate 3 of my cards. I think that's the scariest part. Enemies are vulnerable. Ah. So I vengeance whatever is going after the Veigar, and then I can play Senna. I'm not sure why you would pull with the Azir there. Wish I was more familiar with the Emperor deck and what its contents were. Because, I'm sort of just shooting in the dark right now. fact that I had like 3 mana darkness the whole game is definitely making this quite awkward. Oh, Zerg deal 5? Oh, that's an issue. Losing my Veigar is definitely a big, fat issue. Okay, I forgot about that. Huh. This game might be over. I have no way of going face anymore. Kinda wild, huh? So everything deck draws one. Ah, whatever. Alright, but you got me. Wild. I wonder. I wonder. If I had like cheaper darknesses, I could have had the opportunity to maybe try to close out the game faster than that. Nothing like Sand Paladin's champs, and I was a little bit slow in that matchup. Oh, I didn't feel that shit. Interesting choice of Gnar Viego. That's for sure. Tempted to keep Roadmaker. Just solid overall. Because like if I don't hit something to do on turn 4, like a Veigar, like a Catalyzer, I need to sort of get punished by having a bloated turn there. This hand is not it. Apologist? Roadmaker or Catalyzer? Ruination is least solid. Because like when they play Field Rush, they don't have a Tryndamere, right? They don't have something that survives after the fact. And ultimately that's sort of solid. It's like once I play Ruination, they just have nothing left of their board. And so without Deny and things like that, they just can't protect their champions, which gives me a really sort of... It's a huge breath of fresh air that they just can't interact with that. I wonder if I Vengeance you. It's like 3 mana Darkness, of course, kills the Gnar, but you would have to tap under mana first. And it's not the easiest. I can also just like set up a Ruination. Like I'm not too worried at this current point. I give him a Pokey Stick, but at the end I should still outvalue him. Still has Vengeance mana up, which sucks. I think I can play this now, because if he does Vengeance my Veigar, I can at least set up for Ruination. And then if he open attacks with the Gnar, I can just Vengeance it. I'm sort of forking him, right? Because like if I play Veigar, I don't want a Ruination unless he's able to kill my Veigar. But he does want to kill my Veigar, right? And then that gets me in a good position to... Okay, I'm super fine with this. Like he's gonna Avalanche me again. He's not just gonna pop his Darkness on his Gnar, right? Ultimately, I don't even need to, right? He's saying that he wants to set up for an Avalanche onto my Veigar, and I just ping this, right? Yeah, we're in no rush to do anything here. Like, all he got out of that exchange was a Pokey Stick, and you know what? That's fine with me. So now we've saved all of our hard removal, right? I'm questioning if I want to play this, if I just want to keep up this Ruination forever. But with double Vengeance, I should be fine. It's only dealing 3 is a little bit unfortunate, but oh well. Okay. I don't want to Vengeance you though. I can just take a bit of damage here. I could trade you off, and then I'll just Darkness you later. Like, I don't have any tempo in this sort of board state. I can set up for Ruination if he develops. I can just Darkness this if he does nothing. And I'm just sort of waiting for the right draws, right? These cards all suck. I'll just take a reroll. Look for like a Telescope, something like that. Something impactful, right? It's just hard for him to commit into like a Ruination. Just gonna take my time. Force out resources from his side. Oh, Chan, okay. Didn't expect that one. Just waiting for him to do something drastic. Ooh, those are not the cards I wanted. They're the most useful, I guess. I wanted like something that generates value. Unfortunate there was no option for that. Okay, I mean there's my Ruination. Eventually. Or I can just Vengeance you right now. Let me just spend my mana. I can still Ruinate next turn if he does anything. I do want to potentially say this for a Field Rush. I didn't want him to just have like a fearsome attacker just coming in like that. Catalyzer, but no... Catalyzer, but no Darkness. Other Troll Chant. Fury of the North. Wow, okay. High value Pokey Stick, that's for sure. I think I gave him too good of an Avalanche. Or like a Ravine. I actually do need blockers in this sort of position. Pine Wander, whoa. He's playing all sorts of cards that I didn't really expect, so fair enough. I should have just attacked you. Interesting deck. I didn't quite expect stuff like this to come out, like Pine. Definitely an interesting card. The Troll Chan is at least like, understandable because he's cutting away the Ionia parts of his deck. Okay. Like, we're just sandbagging this Ruination, right? We're taking this game super slow in the hopes that he sort of plays into the Ruination. Because anything besides that, I can take this game for a really long time. And the longer the game goes on, it should go into my favor, ideally. It's gonna suck when I have to Vengeance this Gnar. Because I am just giving him like so many pokies as well. Definitely feels pretty not that cool. I think I'll just kill this Gnar for now, while I can, before it levels. Once like slap a stance on it, consider a Vengeance. It's only like the +2 region, I can just Piercing Darkness it as well. It's an interesting matchup. I've been sort of just like holding this Ruination forever. It's sort of like my ticket out. Or at least it's my ticket like into the game, where I can finally just try to swing things around. And knowing that he probably has equal amounts of Vengeances and things like that definitely makes it a little bit difficult. Wish I could play you, but you just don't hit, right? There's a Veigar. Again, it's all about just taking it slow. I'm not gonna play this until I need to play this darkness, and at this point I don't need to play the darkness. Senna, very nice as well. I'm a Vorin. Start using my darknesses. These can't kill anything impactful, but I'm hoping for the moment he like slips under mana and it lets me play something, well, impactful.
For the wicked, for the dead, I bring rest.
Ooh. Interesting. I'm gonna try to sneak this assistant librarian in. He's gonna play like this. I wish I had a ping here. Oh, I tapped under Veigar. But he can't vengeance me this soon. It's fine. Okay. Maybe we played into Ruination here. Always tough to say. I'm just not in danger at all. Is a plus. And he's gonna mill himself faster than us. We should have this pretty secured. It's all about sort of like setting up some tempo turns. Like I'm gonna try to like I don't mind him trying to ruin on my turn like this. Because it does just give me a lot more resources. If he was on a pass, I'm just gonna start forcing small increments of resources. Like I'm gonna, you know, forcing a block down his board. I get a darkness back for free, and we're in the same position, right? Except now he can like potentially want to ruinate my board. Outside of that, it's not much impact. Wild. You know, it doesn't work like that, do you, buddy? You wanna Fury North again? I think so. Does he think he's gonna like slip something past me now that that darkness is gone? Oh wow, that was confusing.
Darkness and light.
Hmm. Again, just setting up pressure on board. We have the Veigar now, and then we have the Extop. Ooh, really? Now I get a darkness for free. I'll take that. I could like try to kill my own unit and then level up my Senna. I don't think that's worth it though. Seems kind of wild. Again, like, if worst comes to worst, we just play for mill. Like, we're in no rush. Oh, he's drawing cards. Cool. Little did he know, I'm just gonna deck him out here. As long as I don't burn a card, 369. Perfect. Little does he know. And then once he like overdevelops, I just get to slam Veigar, right? Like he's playing this to bait me to darkness, but I'm darknessing that to bait him into playing cards. 3, 6, 9. He's drawn too many cards this game. I'm just so ahead in Fatigue. Fatigue is a old Hearthstone reference, I suppose. That's a really good draw. 3, 6, 9. 3, 6, 9. So we're both at 10 cards. It's all good. All good in the hood. It's on him. The onus is on him. Yep. And if he taps under Vengeance, I just gotta stick to Veigar. Fair enough. The importance of the Veigar isn't to kill him, it's just to get my darkness just slightly bigger. My darkness can start threatening things on his side of the board. Oh, this is the turn we go in then. Just want to make sure I can't accidentally die. As long as he doesn't have like a... As long as he doesn't have like a... Alright, fair enough. I was gonna say, as long as he doesn't have like a Despair, this game's just over. Oh, I could give this Overwhelm, huh? That's kind of cute. But I have the wall up. Alright, this game's over. And he even goes in for this. He should have just went in for this to give it Overwhelm. Wasn't that his out here? He just gives this Overwhelm. And he just like tries to smack in. But I do have the wall up there. Yeah. I think that game was just a really good understanding of what position I was in and who needed to act first. Because I did not need to act first at all that game. I think that was like a pretty cool, just a fundamental of how the game flow works. It's like once I was stabilized and my darkness was a decent threat, I had so much more value than him because he couldn't protect any of his units. So every time he played a unit, I could play a removal spell, and I just had more value than him overall. But that's Darkness. Very strong deck. Very, very abusable in the sense that it feels just so powerful if you get it off. It is very reliant on sort of how you think about the mulligan and things like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the deck. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, guys. Take care.